Hey guys, what's up? I just got back from PAX Prime up in Seattle. It was awesome. It was 4 days, which is honestly one day too long than convention should be. But I think a lot of people liked it, and so they signed like a 10-year contract or something. So PAX Prime is always going to be 4 days long now, or for like the next 10 years. For a very long time, it's going to be 4 days long. So for all the people in the industry who have to work all 4 days, it's a good time. I got to play Titanfall, which is amazing. Definitely think it's gonna give Call of Duty a run for its money. It's gonna change the FPS genre, which is something that the FPS genre kind of needs. It's been the same old for a long time now. I played this one phenomenal indie game called Samurai Gun, and it's the most simplistic idea ever. You have 4 players and in a 2D arena, and it's one-hit kills, and you can attack up, down, left, and right, and then you have a gun with 2 bullets in it that respawns or recharges each time you die. And it's a great party game. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It's so much fun. I probably played that like more than any game at PAX. Telltale's The Wolf Among Us, which I'm really excited about. I got to interview the developers, and they seem very excited about it too. The writers for Telltale are fantastic, so you can only really expect good things from them. I got some time with the nighttime demo of Dying Light. Now on the show floor at PAX, they had the daytime demo, which in my opinion kind of feels like a generic zombie game. Been there and done that before. But we got to play the nighttime demo, and I felt really bad for the developer who was helping me go through everything, because I don't think I've ever said so many cuss words within like a 5-minute span of time before until now. So sorry, but it's a good game. Picture Mirror's Edge sandbox survival horror zombies, and that's what you have with Dying Light. It's my heart. Some hands-on time with the open world of Assassin's Creed 4, which is phenomenal. It's beautiful. You can do so many amazing things in it. The combat is improved. The naval combat is fantastic. It's just great. I cannot wait. Like this Assassin's Creed 4, I didn't really know what to think of it coming into it, but leaving it, it's going to be so good. I played Transistor, and I got to talk to the creative director about the new build of Transistor, the story of Transistor, where the narrative is heading, because we really haven't heard much about that yet, the art design, and all kinds of stuff. So check out our interview with Greg. He's a fantastic guy, and I cannot say enough good things about Transistor. So enjoy, and I will catch you guys later this week for more stuff. And we're here with Greg from Supergiant at the Transistor booth at PAX Prime. And can you tell us a little bit about the build you have here compared to what was at E3?
Yeah, what we had at E3 was very similar to what we showed at PAX East when we first revealed the game. So that was like, what, 6 months ago or something like that. And this build shows kind of what we've been up to in the months since then. It's still based on the same part of the game, or the very beginning, but it has more of, provides more of a sense of like the structure of the game, kind of the RPG elements, as it were. Because we call it an action RPG, but we didn't show very much of the RPG stuff the first time around. But there are kind of all sorts of little bits and pieces that we think are improved or modified, because we're always kind of tuning in, tweaking, trying to make our stuff better.
Yeah.
So hopefully it reflects some of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's kind of similar to Bastion, but it's also, to me, extremely different.
Yeah.
So like with the art style and stuff like that, like Bastion is very pastel colored and bright and more fantasy, and this is more a little darker with shadows and darker colors. Was this like an idea that resonated with the entire team in the beginning?
No, yeah, that's absolutely, like, I think we naturally wanted to, I think, like, automatically whatever we were going to do after Bastion was going to be somehow like in response to our first game.
Yeah.
Like, and in a lot of ways, like Bastion was for us it was like an exploration of the action RPG genre. We really wanted to make an action RPG, but we knew we weren't going to make like Diablo, because we would just make like a worse version of Diablo, right? So we're like, we need to find our own angle on this, and so we ended up with this stuff like the narration, this much more like action-oriented combat, and so on and so forth. So with Transistor, we really really had a lot of fun, like making the weird like fantasy world of Bastion. We wanted to see if we could do it again. This time with like a science fiction theme, starting with sort of like a cyberpunk aesthetic as like the sort of the genre trope, but then like proceeding to twist that hopefully in interesting ways, and likewise taking the gameplay in this much more kind of strategic direction, which we found kind of very fertile ground, making for like just a deeper combat system, which was something that was appealing to us.
Yeah, so speaking about the combat system, because you can do hack and slash a little bit, but I also found with the demo it was a lot easier for me to like sit back and pause and figure things out. Would it be possible to go through the game without using the time possibility?
Yeah, that's kind of the idea. Like whether you'll be able to avoid it entirely, I don't know. Like the idea is like we want you to be compelled to use it on your own terms. We're not going to force it on you, and we want the real-time combat to be like fun and viable.
Yeah.
It's just having this really powerful ability opens up a lot of opportunities for us on like when designing combat encounters and enemies and stuff like that to make them like really, really intense, because you always have this option to go no wait, time out, like, and now I'm gonna turn the tables on these guys, I'm gonna take that guy out, do this, do that, and we find that different players use it in really different ways, and that's when we felt like we were really onto something with it, that not everyone was kind of just using it every single time, because we didn't want to make just a straight up turn-based game, like given the stuff we wanted to do with the narrative and just our desire to make like a very kind of immediate feeling game, but to capture some of the sensation of turn-based games and like the drama of like contemplating your next move and being like the anticipation of like hitting the go button and seeing whether the plan is going to happen or whether it's going to kind of screw up. Those are fun moments for us.
And then with the game narrative, I'm really interested because in the demo we kind of get this idea that Red has lost her voice somehow, and the Transistor is just an inanimate object that has a voice.
Yep.
So how does that play into the narrative goal of this game?
Yeah, well, one of the earliest, it's actually an idea that we came back around to, but one of the very, very first ideas on the project was having the story around this kind of pair of characters. We just found it naturally kind of rich with potential, like a character, like a silent protagonist, where the silence of the protagonist is actually part of the story. Having just done a game with a silent protagonist in a more sort of traditional way in Bastion, where he doesn't talk just because of the story structure, whereas here it's part of the whole premise. And in addition to that, just just this kind of symbiotic relationship between someone who is forced to only take action and can no longer have a voice versus someone who is reduced to only a voice, and what can that kind of character do in that type of situation. So we really just wanted to develop their relationship between them through the course of this story. I'm beating around the bush a little bit because I don't want to say too much about it, because their relationship is very central to the story to us.
So, and I feel like, especially with Red Silence, like the art and the music and like everything kind of comes together and kind of paints a narrative story, which I think is great. Was that kind of the goal, to have like everything kind of contribute to the narrative?
Absolutely. I mean, we're very big on just like the word we try to make games that like feel complete, where everything just kind of fits together, maybe in kind of a weird way, but it still fits. And in this case, like we want to give kind of create this idea that Red was like this like living legend of a singer in this world, and now her voice has been taken from her. So what happens to a person whose whole life was really her voice? Now that that's gone, like what is she gonna do? We wanted to create that kind of character and put her in this situation and see where we would go with it.
Absolutely. And like in the end, what do you think you want players to take away from playing Transistor?
I would be very happy if it were received similar to the way that Bastion was received. I mean, we've been so we've been just overwhelmed by the response to Bastion, and it's the reason we can be here again, making a new game on our own terms. And with Bastion, we wanted to make a game that could like leave a lasting and positive impression on people, kind of be more than just fun to play, leave people with something, and because we like games that do that, and we want to see if we can do it again, and hopefully surprise people along the way once more.
Awesome. And what is it being released on?
Transistor is coming to PS4 and PC early next year sometime.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, we haven't nailed down an exact date.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, do you have a question you want to ask? Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, this is great.